I love making art. I love thinking through materials. I love problem solving with aesthetic sensibilities. I love being there with children when they discover that about themselves and their own thinking. And I love realizing how many different connections are made by them that I didn't think of. I love being there for that aha moment when a child realizes what they can do.
Growing up, I was fortunate enough to have a really great art program where we went on lots of trips and we did lots of stuff. But as I furthered my education, I realized this wasn't the same experience that everyone else had. And I really wanted to become an art teacher so that I could give that experience and be an advocate for my students.
I want to be an art teacher because I think art is a really important way to change the world and imagine a better future for everyone, everywhere.
Well, I want to be an art teacher. It's been a passion of mine that I've been steered towards. I really excel at art, and I feel like people have been coming to me for a long time with the hopes of accessing more of their creativity, and I'm great at unlocking that for people, and I see the best in people and their capabilities.
I'm the only African American student within the program in my cohort, and growing up, it was my mom who showed me artists of color. And, it wasn't until I came to TC that I was able to have my first art teacher who was of color. And I'm 42 years old. So I don't want that to be the case for young boys and girls. I want them to see a woman of color at the helm of a classroom. And I want that to be at an earlier age than 42.
Art education gives us the power to be curious and to play with ambiguity and to enter into our own creative space rather than just being consumers. We are constantly consuming the culture and the world around us, and we're forming ourselves as we're taking in what's around us. So for a student or an artist to really sit down and think about what's inside and what they want to share with the world is life-changing.
I think that art has a specific unique power to speak to people, to address social change, to address politics. And I think I really found that here as a way for me to channel the things that I cared about in the world. And it felt important to bring those things into the classroom at the same time. And so I felt really privileged to be able to have those kinds of conversations with my students about what they cared about, the things in the world that were happening that really concerned them or that frightened them, and how they were able to take those things and channel them into the art that we were making together in the classroom.
I think that art education and access to art education is really important because I think art is a very flexible subject. Art teachers have a lot of freedom in the content that they teach and how they teach it. So I think that art education is this sort of underappreciated space where a lot of innovation can happen.
I believe in the power of art education and in educating students and equipping them with the tools that arts can give them. That is, empowering them as visual storytellers. That goes beyond linguistics, and they can take full agency of their aesthetic abilities and aesthetic sense. They're basically able to retell their own experiences on their own way.
So art education is not like other subjects. There's no correct answers. So it will help students to develop their critical thinking and their freedom to express themselves. So it's very important in their development.
I think that children and adolescents are going through a lot of emotional changes and difficulties when they're going through their childhoods. And I think it's important for them to be able to express this in a healthy way and convey what they're feeling and think about what they're feeling for long points of time. And I think that doing art really helps with that.
My student teaching experience was really fun. I got to experience different ways of teaching. With elementary, secondary, learning in both private and public schools. I got to experience working with a small group of kids, 10 to 12 kids in the class to up to 34. So that was very diverse. I don't think I could get that from anywhere else.
I learned that I am capable of doing things that I never imagined were possible. At the very beginning of my first placement, taking attendance at the beginning of the class, such a simple task, was absolutely terrifying. So more than anything this year, I've learned that how important it is to continually challenge yourself and how much you can grow and change when you do.
So student teaching taught me the importance of flexibility and empathy. I learned that teaching isn't just about delivering lessons, but it's really about observing and listening to students and also adapting in real time to meet students where they are.
It was a pleasure of a lifetime. Like, it was so fantastic to get to meet these students and engage with them every single day. I saw their growth day after day. I had so many incredible opportunities to create interdisciplinary work with the students that worked with, their writing and worked with what they're studying in science, work with what they're studying in history. I found those opportunities to be some of the most impactful for these students because they really saw the integration of art, not in just the art classroom, but in every single facet of their life.